Carl and Damon here from Brrraains A Head-Banging Life, gbhblofficial for short, and it's they made want to do a TV series, Tomb Raider, The Legend of Lara Croft, Episode 7, the penultimate episode of Season 1, Yinyang. Yinyang, all one word. Directed by Cassie Urban and written by Tasha Hill, so our more traditional writer and director combo are back. So, we pick up where we left off as Lara flits between conscious and unconscious states. She dreams and has visions of moments in her life where she's suffered loss. From the moment her father left to when Camilla left to the death of Roth and her father. She gets attacked by a possessed Charles in her visions but is saved by the fox spirit Daji and brought to a place of peace. Daji asks Lara to return the stones to their rightful place and make the world balanced again. But Lara believes she isn't strong enough. And Daji points out that Lara... You're not going to believe this, folks. Lara needs to find balance within herself too. All the feeling has to be let in to be a balanced person. Who are you? You're a Croft. And Lara comforts her crying younger self before hearing her own words, I'm not that kind of Croft. Okay, lazy as it is to finally get to this point and be like, yep, okay, it's all about Lara Croft being balanced and accepting the pain and hurt comes with bravery and soldiering on and stuff like that. I do. It's lazy. I'm glad we got there. Like we needed to get there.
It's lazy, like you said, but as you said, we did need to get there. But for me, it also develops her character even further along now, and we're almost getting to the point now where we're at the Lara Croft that we know.
We are getting there. I think there's more stories to be told before we fully get there, but we are getting there. Particularly the lines of "You are a Croft," but she's not that kind of Croft. She's not her father. And I think all the properties of Tomb Raider always did a really good job of doing that. Like even Angelina Jolie's Lara Croft was not Richard Croft. You see what I mean? Like I do like that, and I think that's the kind of stuff. But it is like I'm glad we kind of got here. As we said in a previous episode review, and I'll repeat it here, this shows problems, of which there are a few. By the way, I should say at the time of recording, there is a written review. I have wrote a written review of this show, so if you want spoilers to know exactly what I think of this show, you can go read it over there. In particular, my heavy criticism of Charles as a character. But that does not apply to Lara. It does not apply to Lara. She's well written, well voice acted, well drawn, and well developed. We then see her stirring in her bed before we cut to Jonah waking up and freaking out because Lara isn't there. He rushes out begging for help but stops when he hears Lara laughing. She greets him and her mood is good, which confuses him. He's puzzled about her relaxed demeanour as they agree to eat together. But so basically, I really like it because he's all like, right, we need to get out. He's got the 4 stone. We need to stop. But Lara's like, look, we can't do much at the moment. We're hungry. Sit and eat. That is not what she... Like, the roles are reversed there. Like Jonah would normally be... Because Jonah's whole demeanour is chill. Relax. He's I think he's Maui. So like I think it ties into his sort of like his people and his beliefs and stuff like that. Whereas here it's the roles reversed and Lara's the one chill brother and he's all like, let's get out there and stop this, you know?
Yeah.
But it shows that Lara is changed or Lara is growing. But Zip contacts them and insists they get to a TV or a weather report is talking about an unusual storm. A specific storm. It's done in Chinese, but you can see the storm pan, and you can tell it's localized around a specific area. No one knew it could be there. Lara realizes that this is where Charles is, and Zip confirms that the only thing there is apparently an old marine research lab. She tells Zip to update Camilla before she asks for Jonah's help. She is surprised, and she apologizes for her past behavior, causing Jonah to break down and cry, and he agrees to help her. Boom! Folks, and this is all for you game people as well. We all know that Lara and Jonah together are two of the best characters relationship from the games. I'm glad this show did not do the cheap thing and kill Jonah off early. And for more Lara loss. Lara and Jonah are a great duo. They are lovely together. It's great to see. I mean, you don't know Jonah from the games. So how do you feel about Jonah?
Yeah, I like it, but I do have a feeling that if there is going to be like a season 2, it wouldn't surprise me if he's killed off.
I'm making a face there because I think you've just so off base there. But anyway, Jonah and Lara head off to the old marine research lab under the cover of a storm and extreme weather. After fixing up a small supply train, they use that to head inland and underground into our research lab. It's all going very Resident Evil, folks. We're going into a disused lab under a mountain. Do you know what I mean? Busting in, weapons ready, they find it empty, except for the T-virus over there. I'm joking. Until they finally come across Camilla and some of her agents. There's a brief bit of a fight over misunderstanding who is who. I did like the fact that you kind of forget that Interpol don't actually know who these people are, so they initially start fighting each other. Camilla reveals that this is a facility of the light, and they were all meeting here until Charles busted in. He has them hostage in the main lab, but access is frozen by the extreme weather. I hate this. Oh man, this is so lazily inconvenient.
Yep.
Not only this random research facility is exactly where the light was going to meet. Charles found out they were there somehow, fine. But so did Camilla and Interpol. Like, how has the light survived this long if
Yep.
everybody can fucking track them? Like, they don't seem to be that good of a secret organization, do they? Now,
Everyone
she
knows where
does
you
this
are.
thing. She tries to explain it by being like, "Oh yeah, the King of Portugal poured money into this facility and all that kind of thing." But like, how would you still find that out? I know, and like it's a bit much for me to buy.
Yeah, it's very convenient. And everyone knows where it is. He's kidnapped a lot of them, and yeah, it just seems like a rush now.
Yeah, it does. But like as well, like Lara and Jonah find a train that they're able to fix up and then take in. Charles did not set any guards at any point in the facility. They didn't bring in a little armada with him and create guards like at
Yep.
checkpoints and stuff like that. It's all a bit like, oh, we're not really trying now because we're at the end game. And I'm gonna say they stopped trying completely now.
Yeah. Do you think that they realise, oh, we've got a lot to cover in the last episode and the last two episodes, and we've left it a
Well,
bit short?
right? I think they wrote, or at least thought, the lot had the ending episode done before they knew what to do with Charles and company.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
This is why this is Charles's story, folks, is about to just be wrapped up here.
Yeah.
Unlike Castlevania, which Castlevania did that, Castlevania then used its last episode to tie up its loose ends. This continues the same story based around the stones. It doesn't do loose end stuff, doesn't tie all that up. It just kind of wants to get Charles out of the way
Yeah.
and does even less with the light. But you could say that's for future seasons, but like you still got to give me reasons to want to tune into the next season, folks.
I think,
Anyway, so yeah, obviously, frozen door. How are you going to get in? Well, go underneath and come up the other side. So Lara gets in a wetsuit. Obviously, these are little nods towards other Tomb Raider games and properties. As Lara in a wetsuit, of course. Hell, that was a magazine cover back in the day. Talk about the sex appeal of Lara Croft. Never forget. We all wanted to know about that nude code. Didn't exist, but we all wanted to know about it.
yeah.
Anyway, she gets underwater, accesses the second lever, and manages to succeed, just open the door for the others, setting herself a new record for breathing underwater. Meanwhile, Charles has the light and is having them kill themselves one by one via possession. This is a really dark scene. I like it. Because he's talking to these members of the light who are on their hands and knees. And you can hear some guy kind of go, and you kind of obviously think like he's maybe getting fucked up by something, but he's fucking himself up. Charles has possessed him and is having stabbing him. I like it. I think it's really dark. But you know what I hate? That's really shit for Charles. Like, that just makes him again out to be a really shitty villain.
Yeah.
Just evil. Like, why is he just evil now?
Yeah, I mean, it's a dark scene, but as you said, from the last three episodes, he's gone from 50-50 to pure evil, like the devil sort of style, and people, I know people are going to say, oh, it's the stones, he's being possessed, it's not him, blah, 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 but it's just like, again, for me, it's so lazy.
I agree. I agree. In the face of this terror, one member of the light is defiant, pointing out, look, you can kill us, but you can't destroy the light. It's bigger than them. And Charles agrees and then points out that his plan isn't to kill them. It isn't to cut the head off the snake. It is to infect the snake. So suggesting that he's going to hypnotize some and basically infiltrate it that way. Cool. Because you know what I really want my villain to do? Explain his plan to the bad guys. I was outraged, but I was like, he did not just do this super villain. I'm going to tell you my plan.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, he has to wait for Lara to arrive, so he has to buy time.
Well, thankfully, time was bought because Lara, Jonah, Camilla, and our fellow agents bust in. It's on as Charles starts to possess the weak-minded agents, forcing everyone to fight, which includes Lara and Charles. The others are able to get out with the remaining light members, but Camilla goes back to help Lara. Her and Charles's fight is going off the rails, and in a point where I went, oh no, I don't like this. He consumes the stones, which
Mm.
transforms him into a sort of crappy looking demonic creature. And I just like, that is awful.
Yeah.
I hated it. Now, from a video game perspective, I'm fine
Mm.
with it. Big monster, particularly the idea that you would then have to break off his weak points to then sort of turn him back like each stone. That's all like it's a video game boss.
Yeah.
This isn't a video game, it's a freaking TV series. It looks terrible. The fight itself isn't very interesting.
No.
I didn't really care. I didn't like it.
Yeah, I agree. What about, I wonder why he never thought of like trying to possess Lara. I mean,
Mm.
I know we can say oh, maybe she's too strong-minded, but at the moment she's still got conflicts. So maybe I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, or why not? What I thought could have been interesting is do what like a Psycho Mantis thing. When Camilla comes back to help, possess Camilla.
Yeah, yeah,
Have
yeah,
Laura conflicted. Imagine that, you know?
yeah.
But of course, this is a fight that Lara can't win alone, because that's the whole point of this show. Lara needs help, and she looks to be defeated when Camilla arrives and distracts the creature. Together, and using all her skills, they're able to wound the beast and knock the individual stones out of his body. There is a point, though, where Charles does seem to realize he's in trouble, but he rises up to attack and is eventually put down. Lara, however, in a rage, her rage overcomes her. The ruby possesses her and she starts to attack Camilla. However, Camilla tells Lara that she loves her and Lara is able to break out of the trance. She's finding her balance and finally, her and Camilla work together to flood the room and electrocute Charles. The last of the stones fall out of him and he's back to normal, defeated. Right. Camilla saying she loves Lara does not mean that they're in a gay relationship together. You can love someone who isn't, that you're not banging. You can love someone who you're not in that kind of relationship with. Do you love
Yeah.
people in your life, Damon, who aren't your like children, your parents, your brothers and sisters? Do you see what I mean?
Of
Like
course.
we all have other loves, friends' loves. You know, I've got a love for Shadow Man, stuff like that. Like you know what I mean? Like I would tell him I love him. Doesn't mean I want to, doesn't mean I'm in a relationship with him. But even if
Yeah.
it is that kind of love, even if it is that kind of love, cool.
Who,
It's different.
who cares? Who cares?
It's still all about the show and it's about relationships. And this is enough to help Lara and able to defeat, obviously, Charles, who goes down like a chump. Of course, he goes down like a chump because that's what all bad guys do. Very video gamey, the electrocution and stuff like that. It's fine. It's fine. But like I said, I just hated what they did with the character.
Yeah, I mean, we obviously knew what the end goal was going to be. Obviously, he was going to be defeated, of course. But it's just the fact that the build up of these all powerful styles, chaos, the world's going to end. He got beat so easy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much. Like, the problem is, I don't. I think, like I said, they really kind of did him dirty, and they just wanted to get him out of the way. He's proven that kind of like he's on his knees, and Lara gives him a picture of his father, like the picture of him as a child with his father that she got from the report before he's taken away in the handcuffs, and like he kind of looks over his shoulder back at Camilla and Lara hugging, and I guess there's some regret because his whole thing with her was like friends hold you back. You're better off alone because that way you don't care about anybody. And
Yeah,
basically, he just got defeated by Lara and her friends, Lara and
yeah,
company. You know what I mean? So like is he thinking that he was wrong and all that? Here's the problem: it's nuance at the end that I don't care for. It doesn't
yeah,
matter. Also, let's be honest, it's not that deep. Him realizing that actually, maybe I needed friends. Maybe if I'd been like teamed up with Lara, we could have worked together to defeat the light from a positive angle, right? To me, that's not that deep.
yeah. Because I mean, if you think about it, over the course of the episodes, his development was very minor. You don't really find out too much about him. Really. I mean, where obviously, Larry, we have the development and the more into it, but him, I don't really care.
All we got was in the very early episodes was who he was, what he stood for, why he thought he and
Yeah,
Lara were the same, and then it was just I'm a villain. That's it.
yeah, yeah,
Anyway, so finally we see Jonah and Lara leaving for Kulon Mountain with a plan to return the stones. So basically, one more adventure to come as they're seen up by Zip, who gives Lara, in a excellently done scene, her famous guns. So this is where she gets her guns. She's
yeah,
handed them by Zip. And why I'm saying excellent is because a really bad show would have made Lara's guns moment a huge deal. like a stupidly over-the-top scene for a pair of pistols, right? It would have felt stupid. It would have been forced. In this, it's almost done as an afterthought. Like, oh yeah, by the way, take these. I think they're going to come in handy. And she's like, holds them. Was like, yeah, cool. And I was like, oh, that's such a good way to do it. It just is. The guns are an iconic aspect of Lara Croft. Let's be honest, folks, man. There's a lot more to her as a character.
Yeah.
So I really am pleased that they just went, there you go, there's the guns, and that's it.
Yep.
And that's it. That's the end of the penultimate episode. A mixed bag, folks. A mixed bag. It felt so rushed. It felt so rushed. And you know what's really annoying? This episode should have been a two-part with the finale. And then because the finale, the next episode is dragged out. And I think if you cut stuff from that and add in stuff from this and make it a two-parter like that, it all works a little bit better. But ultimately, my biggest criticism of this episode comes to the show overall, which is just Charles. It comes out of Charles again.
Yeah, I mean, when I saw it, I actually thought this was that the last episode, because the way it ended, like that was like it, because the boss has been defeated. Yep. So we got one more episode. What's going to happen now?
You forgot about the stones. You forgot about the stones. Yeah, you have to get the stones back.
Yeah, stones back. Yeah, which obviously it develops her character even more, because obviously she's not taking the stones; she's going to give them back.
Well, she kind of has no choice. That's the thing. The only thing I would say about that is it's a no choice situation. Like, the world ends if you don't.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
kind of a no-brainer there. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, that was episode 7, Yinyang of Tomb Raider: The Legend of Lara Croft. You got any thoughts on this one you want to share? Let us know in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like to see more content like this, please consider hitting the subscribe button. It is gratefully appreciated. You can find us over at gbhbl.com, our full website, where reviews, news, and so much more goes up daily. We're also on all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Threads, at gbhbl. Just search for gbhbl and you will find us out there. We also have merchandise on sale. You can access the shop via the website.